Okay, so now that we finished the pre-writing part, we're going to work on the drafting part. So for this part, we're going to we're going to learn how to fill out a plot diagram. So you'll fill out, you'll use the significant event, which we used, or that you came up with the last class period, and put it in logical order. So we had getting driver's license as the significant event. So we are going to go over some of the expectations again, just to make sure you guys know what those are, which are what?
Have a calm and safe body, and use our listening ears. And I forgot the last one.
Work hard.
Oh yeah, work hard. That I can do.
Okay, so the purpose for this lesson is to complete this plot diagram that I'm going to teach you.
What's a plot diagram?
That I will teach you next, and then it also will, and to use some concrete sensory details. This is going to help to create a smooth layout of the draft. So then it helps that we learned how to do the web cluster map yesterday, and to use the brainstorming strategies and stuff like that. So, okay. So I'm going to model first what a plot diagram is, and this is kind of what it looks like. So it has...
Why is there 6 parts to it?
I'll go over it. Okay, so the first part is exposition, which is the setting and the characters. Then the second part is the rising action, so the events. And then the third part is the climax, when the main character faces the problem. 4 is falling action, so what happened right after the climax. And then the resolution, which is what happens at the very end of the story. And then the conflict, which is the problem of the story. So I will draw on the board one of these. We'll just, like this. For the exposition. Which is the setting and the characters. So, for the setting and the characters, I will do a different one other than getting driver's license, since that was your choice. So I'll do mine on the college degrees again, which I'll do it about the teaching part, or teaching degree. So, So the characters, and this is going to be a made-up story, since this is just an example. So the characters in the story are myself and a college professor. Why is it doing it? Okay. And then the setting would be a college room, college classroom. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's gonna probably be better if I just say it out loud at this point. Okay, so we start at the bottom of this map, and then we go climb up to the rising actions and events. So I'm gonna come up with an event that happened, which would be the final exam day. So, final exam. Hey, such a great boy. Another rising action is, right before the final exam we had a review day. And then for the climax, this is when the character faces the problem. So I failed to study, so I had stayed up all night trying to study, and had no sleep, and I was worried that I was going to fail the test. So then the falling action, which is what happens right after the climax, and that was when I got my test handed to me, and I tried to take the test, and I just blanked out because I was so anxious and tired. So then the resolution, so this is what happens at the very end of the story, which I ended up getting a retake on the test. The teacher allowed me to do one more, or have another chance. And then the conflict, which was the problem of the story, well, that was obviously I didn't get enough sleep and I didn't study very well because of waiting until the last day to do that. Okay, so now that I went over how to do that as a model, I'm going to have us work together on creating one with our partners. Or are we going to... Oh, well, we'll start. Well, we kind of started the whole group. Okay, so now we're going to break off the partners, which is what I was saying. Okay, so then I'm going to have you can just look at this as a guide, and you don't need to draw out the lines, just kind of fill in exposition. So I'll be your partner. So the setting of, you can do getting your driver's license if you want, since that's what your final one's going to be on. Alright, and then where were you at for the setting of your story?
In the car.
Okay. And then for the rising actions and events, what were maybe like 2 events that happened after you got your license?
I got a speeding ticket.
Well, that's unfortunate.
No, it's fun because I got to go super, super, super fast. Don't you like going fast?
Oh, I do, but I don't get caught.
And
Another event.
I had to pay my speeding ticket.
Okay, and then the third part is the climax. So this is when you face the problem.
At court to pay fine.
Alright. And then the falling action is the part 4, which is what happens right after the climax.
I speed again.
Alright.
But try not to get caught.
Alright, and then the 5th part is the resolution. So what happened at the very end of the story?
I don't get caught. For speeding.
And then the 6th part is the conflict, which is the problem of the story. So
I have a lead foot which led me to speed.
okay, so basically since I went over this with you, we already have an idea of what a good example is. So then not a great example would be coming up with a topic that is too small to have any actions or events that are in it, and then we got to make sure there's a problem in the story as well, because you want to be able to have enough details to write your whole essay at the end. So then I don't need to really check in with you again since you got that. And then I'm going to have you try to do it completely on your own. Just come up with your own topic. And then I'll keep the format here so you can look at it if you forget how to do it.
Are we staying on the same topic, or do we have to switch a different topic?
I'll give you guys a topic to use, I guess. Let's do the beginning of 10th grade. So since you guys are in 10th grade this year.
Settings. Myself and peers and high school. So setting. Rising actions. Go to classes.
And for while you're doing that, I just want to go over what the word or one of our vocabulary words for this lesson is drafting. So drafting is part of the writing process of the essay. So this is what we do before we write the final draft of the essay. So this is going to help us with that part. So laying out our whole essay, and then we will be able to have a more smooth, clear process to write our essay. And then this also shows the beginning, middle, and end. Also has all the concrete sensory details in this format for this diagram. And then once you're done, I will collect that and I will check it and let you guys know.
Do you want my name on it?
Yeah, please put your name on it. If you want credit, that is. And then awesome. Okay. I'll look over those over tonight. And then what's on a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being 5 meaning that you understood this whole process and 1 being completely lost, what would you rank this lesson?
5.
All right, awesome. So you completely understand this whole drafting process. So do you have any other questions? Okay. So for the next lesson, we're going to revise the draft and then complete it for homework.